Hey, what's going on guys? I'm Sino and I'm back again with another video. So, a lot of you guys were asking me for the sensitivity video. Shout out to you, Crosshairs. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to make one, how to find your sensitivity and how to be better at the game. But I'm not gonna be showing you my personal sensitivity because I said I wouldn't in the beginning of this channel, and I still won't. I'll stick by it, but I'll show you how to find your own one. As you can see, this is a fresh account. I only have recruit, everything new, and I'm gonna teach you because I have all the default settings of this account. So let's get into it. All right, so as you can see, the first thing you want to see, he's talking a lot, right? So what you're going to want to do is turn down the dialogue. This is the first thing you're going to want to do. I already have my music at 0. You're going to want to do this as well. Something else you're going to want to do is keep your dynamic range on hi-fi. Unless you're playing on a TV, which you shouldn't be. You should be playing with a headset. Or if you're playing on night mode and you don't want to be ear-raped by the game, keep it on hi-fi. Voice chat should be a little bit lower so you don't get, ear-raped in a 1v4 situation with your random teammates. And your subtitles, keep them off unless you like the dramatic display of this game. When it comes to general, none of this really matters, except for match replay if you want it on so you can go back and watch your footage. I recommend that. And your HUD. Your HUD is the most important thing in the game because it can adjust what you want. Me personally, I like to play with my compass off. I like to play with my loadouts off, my health off, because if you're in like a 1v1 and you're at 1 HP, it's just gonna be flashing red for the whole game. So I prefer to have that off so I don't stress. DBNO means down but not out. So the little cross with a timer on your screen is a DBNO. So make sure to have that on or off whether you like that or not. Your action reminders, this is if you have Wi-Fi issues, if you have latency issues, it's gonna show in the bottom right of your screen. I have icons only. The opacity is how clear you want it to be. The more clear is 100, the less clear is gonna be at 1. You can just turn it off if you really want. Reload reminder, I have it off because I don't want something red in the middle of the screen. Crosshairs, I have that on. I have the operator reticle off. It's the little dot in the middle of your screen, the little white thing, because sometimes it can bug out and it'll add on to your sight. So I have that off. I have pings on, and I have them all on custom. So adjust this to however you want. You can literally adjust anything you have in this game. So if you want to stay comfortable and you want to play on minimal sense or minimal HUD, just walk into this part and turn on, turn off whatever you need to turn on. And in audio, we already went through this. Display, have VSync off because when you have VSync on, it causes tearing, which means there's going to be little lines on your screen and you won't be able to focus properly because your graphics will be distorted. Prioritize performance so you can have 120 FPS if you're on new gen. Your field of view should be between 87 and 90 as a personal preference because it helps with recoil control, seeing more enemies, and just having a better overall experience. 60 FOV is like being in a magnifying glass. It feels like you're back in season 1 and you can't really play. So I recommend having that on 90 or 87. I usually play on 90. Sometimes my Xbox is not running as well. I'll run it on 87. HUD display area is how close you want your other things to be. So if I do it at 100, it's going to be at the top of my screen, like my operator and how much time is left. If I want it to be a little bit smaller, it'll be all in the center of my screen, as you can see here. So I usually keep this around, 87. Brightness, I recommend having 50 to 65 because that's the better range, unless your monitor is really dim or really bright, according to however you want your personal preference. I keep mine at 61. Keep vibration disabled because it will actually mess you up. Vibration can help with recoil control, but it also makes you a little bit worse at the same time. So watch what you're doing. If you really, really want to use it, it's personal preference and I don't really judge. Gadget deployment, have these two both on advanced so you can manually do it yourself. By doing advanced, if you throw down a drone, instead of going onto it automatically, you have to physically click it again to find and go onto your drone. That's advanced. And gadget deployment, drone deployment, this is for your gadgets, so like your hard breaches, so they don't automatically go off. I almost opened UB Connect there like a little bot. All right, controller layout, unless you're a lefty, this doesn't really matter to you. Look conversion, this is if you want down to go up and up to go down. That's what look conversion is. I don't recommend it. It feels like you're playing like you have 3 brain cells and you're off spectrum. Controller rotation, this is actually pretty hard to differentiate. Updated, if you're a more jinxy player in a slow sense, you want to play on updated. If you want to play on a higher sense, classic is better. It makes you feel more smooth and it operates the game better. Sensitivity and vertical. Vertical means up, down, horizontal means left to right. I recommend having your vertical sensitivity lower than your horizontal and having your vertical between 33 and 50. If you have it higher or lower, it's your personal preference. The easiest way to find your sensitivity is to do this. Go up to a wall, one shot, aim on that shot and do a 180. If you perfect the 180 and look exactly behind you like this, directly behind you, one straight line, and you perfect it like every time, not inconsistently like I'm doing it, then you'll have a perfect sensitivity for flicking and going from point A to point B. That's how you find a perfect sensitivity. And also doing one thing like tracking. Again, this is a new account, so I don't have my sensitivity, so I'll try my best to track, but you really, really can't. See how inconsistent it is? So, try to track your best in this game. Like if you try your best, you will, and I promise you will find your good sensitivity. It's not gonna happen in one day, but you see I'm already getting the hang of it. So, adjust it to your needs. So those are two little tricks that will help you find your sensitivity. Let's keep it on 3363. This is how bad you want your controllers to react. So if you have a controller with stick drift in the left stick, so where you move, you turn this up. If you have a stick on your aiming that responds really, really fast, because if it's a stick drift, turn it up to 20. It'll take a longer time for it to respond to your game. So we've gone through the basics of sensitivity. Controller ADS sensitivity. Standard is controlling all of the sensitivities with one slider. So if I want all of them to be at 20, I just make standard at 20 and all of them will apply as 20. If I want to have everyone singly customized, you just go to advanced and you can customize one by one for your best experience. I recommend going one by one so you could get that max aim prestige. Aim, when you toggle, I just clicked RT and it makes me aim in. If you want to just hold it in and let go and it's better, that I recommend toggle or hold because it's better and you don't have to click LT like 30 times and break your button before you get a kill. Your accessibility, this is what you want to see in your gun. So your operator reticle, like this little thing, the white thing. If you're colorblind in any eye with a specific color, you can change this. Or you could just do defaults, which is just red and green. Or you could do custom and find whatever color that suits you best. I recommend not using black and white because if you're in a bright map like coastline, when you look at the ceiling or you're in a bright area of the map, you will not be able to see your reticle. And if you change it to black, if you're in a dark map like, let's think about this, favela. I know it's not in the map pool, but if you were in favela, it'd be literally invisible. Like you can already see it's kind of camouflaging with this bush. So when you're talking about this, I use purple on 70 opacity. Opacity means how clear you want it to be. So the more you go towards the 100, it's more opaque, so it's not gonna be clear. The more you go back to 1, it's gonna be how clear it be. So I use 70. Oh no, I'm pretty sure I use 50 now. I used to use 70, but now I use 50 so I can see the opponents easier. So we use 50 optics. And it's more transparent and you can be a happy little gamer and kill everyone. Screen shake. So when you're throwing a thermite grenade, what am I talking about? Sorry, I meant to say a smoke grenade because thermite has them. If you're throwing like a smoke grenade or putting down a thermite exo, when it blows up, that's how hard your screen's gonna shake. Keep it at off because it's gonna minimize how much your screen shakes and it's gonna keep you more focused and tunnel visioned into the game. Your team colors, this is a personal preference, whatever, if you wanna be orange, if you wanna be red, if you wanna be blue, it's just personal preference. And none of this really matters. So that's how you usually find your sensitivity. I recommend going through this almost, 20 minutes a day to try to do this. And whatever you find is more consistent, use it to the best of your ability and you will become okay. And the best thing I recommend for being better at this game is either aiming down at something specifically and tracking it, or going into shooting range and practicing reticle controls while tracking like this, like just tracking one target singularly. So that's how you basically find your perfect sensitivity. I'm gonna run a few clips of me warming up with my sensitivity and showing you what I do to find the best sense. Okay boys, so we have gotten into a T-hunt on my main account because this is where all my sensitivities are. So the first things I'm gonna recommend is aiming at head level. So I'm gonna show you a little trick that Atheno taught me back in the day. So you see the top of the X? It has a buckle on it. Here, let me show you from, what do I wanna do? Okay, so this is a buckle, right? Let me show you. It's okay, let's just ignore that guy. All right, so right here, you see this buckle. This is head level for every single operator in the game. This is where you want to be aiming at to get specific kills. This is where you want to aim. That's what I aim at, and that's how I get my kills. And I'm just gonna mute so you guys can watch me warm up. Just note that it is okay to potato because it's all the process of warming up. Let's get into it. Sorry, I had to get myself killed because I was running out of time on my capture card. So that is essentially how you warm up, ladies and gentlemen. Also, along with finding your sensitivity. As you can see, I missed a lot of shots, but that's not because I didn't find my perfect sense. It's because I just haven't warmed up. So warming up and finding your sense go hand in hand. If you haven't seen the video on how to warm up properly, I'm gonna link it in the end. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, make the notification bell go, and I'll see you guys in the next video later.